Let's talk to Chris Curtis now about that big win and where he goes from here. Chris, man, how do you even put this into words, man? I mean, this is crazy. You're one of the best stories of the year in the UFC, not in PFL, not in any other organization. 2-0, short notice. You're Mr. Short Notice. You're freaking rolling in the bonuses. How do you put this into words?
I don't know, man. It's nice not being broke right now. Yeah. That's it, man. But I'm still trying to digest it all, man. Like the Phil Haas fight was still a lot to process. And then midway through that, we're like, hey, you want to fight again? So we're like, all right, let's go. So now with 2 back-to-back, I'm like, what are we? It's weird, man. We're like, this is like a joke that got out of hand.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, we'll fight Phil Haas at 85, whatever. It goes well. They're like, okay, fight Brendan Allen. It goes well. We're like, bro, the joke's not funny anymore. Like, what do we do now?
I loved when you were talking in the post-fight interview, like, yeah, we worked on this all camp. I'm like, your camp was 5 minutes. What are you talking about all camp? I mean, how long did you actually get to prepare for this fight?
For this one, luckily, about almost 2 weeks, because when they announced it, I was still in the gym, which was fine. And then it was in Vegas, so we didn't have to fly. We didn't have to travel. There was no lockdown until Friday, so I got to train up until Thursday.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe like 12 days, or 10, 12 days.
Because there seems to be some strange beef between Brendan and your bud, Sean Strickland. Did that raise the stakes a little bit in your mind? Like, did this make it more personal? Did you want to beat this man, hurt this man because of his feud with your guy, with your cornerman, with your friend, with your training partner?
No, if you guys know Sean Strickland at all, Sean Strickland feuds with everyone. So if I was taking it personal every time someone feuded with Sean, I would never have time to do anything else with my adult life. So I just thought it was weird, man. I'm saying, me and Brendan talked. Brendan's he's a cool kid, man. Like, I told him, like, you just got to learn to just kind of take Sean with a grain of salt. Like, that's how we've gotten along for so long now. He says things, I just look at him like, okay, Sean. Like, so, for me, it wasn't any more personal than just me having another fight and trying to get out there. Like, I found it amusing and kind of weird, but I'm like, okay, man, you guys can beef afterwards.
I kind of feel like, and I hope he takes this the right way, one of the best things about Sean Strickland is the fact that he's friends with you.
So it's one of my crowning moments in life. Like, bro, I'm Sean's only friend, and this is why. Like, it's just, I take people laugh like, oh, Sean's been humanized. Somebody said something yesterday. Oh, Chris humanized Sean Strickland on the MMA Hour. I mean, it's what I do, man. I go around. That's my contribution to this relationship, to where, like, I make him seem less terrible, because he's not as bad as we all think. He's just the most crass human being you could ever meet. Everything he says, he often says the right thing, but he delivers it the worst possible way, which is what, like, rubs people the wrong way.
I kind of get
just
it.
Walk around like behind him, like it's not what he meant, guys.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You soften him up. I get it, because a lot of my friends, like one of my best friends is filled with tattoos. He's got, gold teeth. He's just the complete opposite of me. I have no tattoos. He's buff. And I feel like, for some weird, we hear about opposites attract in relationships, but I think in friendships as well. So I get where you're coming from with this.
It's a weird balancing act with Paul, man. It's just, like, trying to walk up, like, hey, Sean's guy who can go to a group. I'll tell you guys why you all suck. And this is what's wrong. And I'm like, what he means to say is, like, this is what he sees. And it's just interesting, but it works, man. We get along, and he's definitely one of my boys, and he's a great training partner, a great friend for me. So we make it work. Which
finish did you like more, MSG or this one on Saturday? Is it even possible to pick?
It's weird, man. Like, it's hard to pick, because MSG, I was never supposed to win anyway. And then, like, oh, it's fluky. They go, oh, you're fluky, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of, like, bothered me. Like, oh, that win was an accident. So I go and do it again. So it's on a smaller stage, but against a tougher opponent, exact same outcome. So it's kind of like, MSG was cool for MSG in the moment, having my debut, which is probably one of the best moments I have in my life. But Saturday, it felt good just to shut people up, because all I've heard since then was, oh, Hollis has no chin, and it was a fluke shot, blah, blah, blah. And you've got 0.001% chance against Brendan Allen. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe against Brendan Allen just to shut everyone else up.
Right. By the way, how long did it take for you to come down from MSG? Like, the high of that, to just go back to normal life? How long did it feel like it took for you?
I was in the gym Monday. We flew home Sunday. We got home Sunday. It was a little too late to hit practice, so I was in the gym Monday morning.
By the way, is there any better feeling than to come back to the gym as a victor in your UFC debut at Madison Square Garden? I mean, I feel like you must have felt like, King SHIT, right? Chest.
It's great, man. It honestly is a great feeling, man, just because when the world gives you the world gives you no chance to do something, you go do it. It's just cool too, because you got back to the gym and everyone who I see on a daily basis, everyone I train with is like, we're not surprised. It was just, it was less congratulations and more good job not screwing up.
Yeah. So now you have this situation where you're now 2-0 in the UFC. Life seems to be very good for you. You seem to be thriving in these short notice situations. However, the next one, would you like a little more, leeway? Would you like a little more of a heads up? Would you like a full training camp? Or are you going to just let this fly and be that guy who steps up on short notice?
The thing is, I'm always in full training camp. Like, if I have 2 weeks or 8 weeks, the only thing that really changes is just some small things here and there. Like, maybe if I have 8 weeks, maybe I'll try lifting a little more, whatever, try lifting finally or whatever. But my day-to-day life for the last 8, 9, 10 years has just been doing the same things over and over. I'm someone that trains 7 days a week. I train really hard every day. So my camp time-wise, I only really need 8 weeks, 6 weeks. If you're like, hey, I need you to go down to 170, because that requires the work on my part. But as far as preparation goes, I agreed that I wouldn't spar this week, but I'll be in the gym Monday. I'm going to hit pads, do a couple classes and train. I don't take time off. I'm not a guy who gets fat. I don't go on vacation. This is just what I do. So 8 weeks is just, hey, Chris, you should make 170. I'm like, okay, well, 8 weeks is great, but something else comes up. What's going to change, man? I stay in great shape. I work really hard every day. Opportunity like this, I love these opportunities, man. This is what I'm here for. And the last 2 years, we've been like, hey, you've got to be even more ready than you already are. So I just made myself stay ready.
Are you just looking at your bank account now? You told us you had $10 before the MSG fight in there. Now,
right?
I don't want to get too personal here, but I'm assuming you have more than $10 unless you blew it all already. It must be surreal for you a month later.
Here's the fun thing. It's the coolest thing about you realize you go from being really broke to not being broke all of a sudden is you stop checking your bank account every day.
Yeah, that's a nice luxury.
Yeah, that's a nice feel where I don't have to wake up and check and make sure nothing popped out that I wasn't expecting, or it's just not magically gone. So I hadn't even looked at it today. I haven't looked at it. I'm checking maybe once a week right now, just to make sure it's I'm not waking up this is all a dream, this fever dream. I'm actually poor, but I don't have to check every day, which is nice. I don't live an extravagant lifestyle at all. I'm going to drive the same car I've been driving for the last whatever years. I don't need big stuff. I don't need expensive stuff. Just knowing that I can keep fighting and not have to worry about feeding myself or my kid or being homeless. That's all I really need.
No vacation? I feel like you deserve a vacation. Come on.
I'll pop home. I'm cornering my buddy Jordan Levitt, actually, I believe, on the 18th. So after he fights, I will pop home to see my son for Christmas, and then I'll be right back. I'm not a big vacation guy, man. I'm just not.
Listen, I feel you. I just feel like you deserve it as well. You deserve to spoil yourself. The opposite of that would be something that popped up on my timeline. Actually, someone wrote to me. I think you were tagged in it or not, about your nipple, and then you wrote,
"Oh,
what's going on? What happened?"
So I got hit by a car when I was 16. I got hit by a Suburban.
You got hit? How? Where? Why?
I was skateboarding and I got taken out by a Suburban.
Damn.
So,
bad?
Yeah. Oh, it's Tori. I complained. Kid almost died. It went sideways. Yeah.
Holy smokes. So, you say this laughing.
You laugh now, but at the time it almost killed me. So that was less fun. But yeah, I almost got I was skating and I almost went under the Suburban.
Oh my God.
So I had to decide to like, oh, do I go under the Suburban or do I kind of jump over it? So I tried to like jump onto the hood, which is the right call. But I just like get smashed by a Suburban and like, yeah, like completely like just jacked up the like left side of my chest. So like, yeah, it's just old and lasting injury.
How fast was the car going?
Faster than it should have been.
Yeah.
God,
sounds like
way faster than it should have been.
How long were you in the hospital for?
The worst part was not long. Like I kind of like didn't want to tell my mom about it. So
how'd you get away with that?
Well, went to the ER. Was finally, I fell down some stuff, it hurt, whatever. So I kind of like lied about what happened. And I thought it was less serious, even though I'm like dragging myself home afterwards. And like, yeah, so I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. Like, okay, just rest. And like, come to find out, like I definitely tore my entire pec at 16, but I kind of just like lied to everybody. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because I was terrified to tell my mom why I was out, what happened. So she's probably figuring it. Oh yeah. Well, hi mom. But yeah, at the end of the day.
Wait, she still doesn't know?
I don't really, I think it's just one of those things where she knows I lied. She's not sure like what happened.
Wow.
So just an arm injury, I didn't allow it. I should have like probably had surgery at 16, but I played that off. The doctor was like, all right, he seems fine. So it just healed wonky. I may get it corrected one day. I don't know. I don't get paid to be pretty.
So wait, do you, I can't say that I've looked there, noticed it. Do you not have a nipple?
No, dude, it's just like here where it ripped, like this part of my chest dents in, like up into like, if you want to really see it, like here, like this shoulder is shaped differently than this one now at the joining.
Okay.
So it just like pulls my chest over to that side.
Okay. What's that shirt you're wearing?
Oh, it was Baki the Grappler, man. Baki Hamla versus Kure. Like,
I don't know what that is. Is that like some anime thing?
Yeah, it's a fighting. It's one of the greatest fighting animes of all time. You should really watch it.
Damn.
It's an old school one.
I'm gonna get roasted.
It's just about people fighting. It's great.
Okay, I will check that out. So by the way, was this before or after you jumped out of the window when you were with the girl and that broke your ankle?
It's a bad year.
Yeah. All the same year? Jeez Louise, man.
So this was a really bad year, man.
Which came first?
I'm probably like you know what? I think it was the shattered ankle.
Oh my God. That is a horrendous.
Yeah, it just wasn't that was a rough year for me in my life, man. Everybody's like, oh, 16 years not that hard. My 16 was rough.
Yeah.
Made a lot of bad decisions.
I love the pose that you do when you get, declared the victor. Where does that come from? It kind of looks like Randy Orton. I don't know if you're a pro wrestling fan, but where's that from?
Yeah, it's a combo of Frank Zane and Randy Orton, man. Frank Zane, the bodybuilder, had the greatest like pose ever, and then Randy Orton has a very similar pose. So it's kind of like halfway between Frank Zane and Randy Orton.
How long have you been doing that for?
Years now, man. I don't know why I started doing it, but I don't know when I started doing it, but I've been doing it for at least probably about 5 years now.
Why? Like, what prompted you to do that?
Because you know what? It's been a long time that people are like, oh, I can win a fight. Like, you suck. It was an accident. Boo. So like, you know what? Fine. You can say I suck, whatever, but like, what can you say? Yeah. I won. Like my hands are raised. You can do nothing but admire me for what I've done. You can still say I suck, but in this moment, you have to acknowledge that I won. And in this moment, I'm great.
Listen, there aren't enough consistent poses in MMA. There's a ton in pro wrestling. So I actually love the fact that you do it, and I like that you stick with it. Are you a Randy Orton fan? Is that your guy?
I've been out of wrestling for a long time, but I was a Randy Orton fan. I was a huge Randy Orton fan. Sean and I always laugh because like Sean's like an over the top villain, but I'm a sneak villain, and like Randy Orton's always been one of my favorites. You're like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Like, what's he doing?
The Viper.
Like, I don't know. I'm just out serving me right now. So I've always liked Randy Orton. So.
By the way, the last thing I think of when I think of Chris Curtis as a villain, sneaky or not. I mean, you're the ultimate babyface, my friend. I don't think there's a bad bone in your body. But
no. So here's what I say. Sean and I have this argument all the time. He's like, you're a scumbag. I'm like, no, I'm not a great guy. I'm a decent human. I'm an okay person. I'm okay with that. Like I used to be terrible. And now as I've grown up, matured, I consider myself to be pretty okay. Like I really try to be a nice guy, but I'm also probably the biggest dick once we get to that level. And
wow.
One of my nicknames is King Petty.
Really? You're petty?
Oh, I am a petty human being, and you would be absolutely surprised at the lengths I will go once that battle starts. So I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Man, King Petty is one of my real nicknames.
But wait, you say you used to be like a scumbag? What does that mean? Like, what does scumbag mean for you?
Just a villain. I was just an asshole, man.
Really?
Like I was just like younger me was terrible, man. I was just running around fighting people, starting stuff. I beat a guy up in a McDonald's parking lot for talking about my hair once.
Wow.
Like I was a hooligan, man. Like it was terrible. It was weird. Like, yeah, I used to have blonde hair. I was the blonde Brunson before there was blonde Brunson. And so which is why when I fought Phil Hawes, I was gonna dye my hair just to come out as Phil Hawes because I've been doing it before. But when I was younger, man, yeah, I beat a guy up in a McDonald's parking lot for talking about my hair. Like I warned him, he kept talking about it, so I just beat a dude up in a parking lot.
How bad?
And then like, he wasn't like hurt, but he would never do that again. He never spoke to me ever again. But we had to show.
Wait, you knew him?
Loosely, I kind of knew who he was through association. I went to McDonald's to pick somebody up from work, and he's just talking trash to me. And he's like, "Oh, Cisco." I'm like, "Okay, cool, very cute, whatever, funny." He's making thong song jokes. I'm like, "Okay, man. The next joke, I'm gonna come back there and slide you into the grill." And he kept talking, so I dragged him outside, literally like suplexed him across the parking lot. So this is 18-year-old me, mind you. Yeah. So now at 35, I'm like, how am I not in jail? I could have killed a guy in an accident. So when you're young, you're stupid, but I've calmed down a lot. So, young me used to be terrible, and I still kind of feel bad about some of the things young me did. So as a current Chris, is much more calm and mellow than I was. There you go.
Yeah, we lost you there briefly. By the way, your eye, is it always going to be like that? And what happened to it?
Where? Which here?
Yeah. Because I saw you were like talking.
So fun.
What?
Fun story.
Oh, okay. I thought you said
before the Phil Hawes fight. After the one got canceled, they rescheduled it. I got 1 week. I got 1 week of training, and then I got cellulitis in my under my eye.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know, cellulitis is like a staph infection that exists under the skin. It didn't break the skin. So my eye puffed closed. I woke up one day and I'm like, oh, my eye is just completely swollen shut. And I have no idea what's going on. So I go to the doctor, figure it out. I got cellulitis under my eye. So I'm like, great, I'm losing a week of camp for the Phil Hawes fight because you can't do anything. So my eye is just swollen shut. I'm doing pads, trying to hit the bag. I can't do anything else. So that cleared up. But now there's the hard part under the skin. The doctor's it'll just have to reabsorb back into your body over time. So yeah, it's fine, but now it's just a hard part that exists under there. He's like, give it a month or two, it'll absorb back into the body.
Wow. Okay. Never heard of that.
Yeah, that was a rough camp. I was trying to say, bro, the Phil Hawes camp sucked.
Next fight, do you have a preference? Who you fight against?
I guess I'm an 85er now.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a weird joke that got out of hand, but I guess I'm an 85er now. The only thing is, I don't really know who exists at 185. It's not a weight class I was eyeing.
Right.
There's a ton of 70s I wanted to fight, but at 85, I have no idea who's in this weight class. But if I had to pick somebody, who's the guy that Maki fought?
Oh, Maki Pitolo on Saturday.
Yeah.
My brain is, let me get his name. It's been a tough day for me. That's the guy you want?
Honestly, so Maki is a really good friend of Dusko. Yeah. Maki's a really good friend of mine, man. I love him to death. And that fight killed me because you guys don't understand how Maki is so much better than people are counting on him. He's so much better than that. He had a lapse in judgment and it cost him the fight. And it kills me because I have fought to the death with Maki and just barely scraping out draws in the practice room. He makes one mistake and loses that fight. So I just want to go beat Dusko the show. And bro, Maki, but I looked at that as he's not so much as you, it's just he made a mistake. And I just want to prove that, bro, we're better than that. I know Maki's better than that. And Maki and I fight to the death. So in my eyes, if I go beat Dusko, that means, hey, I can kind of, avenge my friend's loss because it's just that one hurt. So I like to get that back.
I love it. You're a good friend. Chris, it's great to get to know you.
I'm petty.
You're a petty. But being a good friend means you can be petty on your friend's behalf as well. So well done to you. Congrats on another great win. Congrats on all your success. Happy holidays. and I look forward to your 2022. This has been a great story to watch.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Can't wait for next year.
All right, there he is. Chris Curtis, get on the bandwagon. What a story. That's the beautiful thing about this sport. Like last year, you know, the story was Kevin Holland winning 5 fights and Brandon Moreno getting. Every year, these stories emerge in our sport.